The essence of the educational mission of Abu Noor is to prepare its students to better represent Islam around the world and to help counter the persistent misconceptions held by both non-Muslims and Muslims alike. The question, as always, is how.
Muslims suffer a great shortfall in regard to presenting our issues in the West, especially in utilizing the media.
In Syria, as in most of the rest of the Islamic world, there is no shortage of information from the West. Satellite TV dishes cover the rooftops of Damascus, and internet cafes can be found in almost every neighborhood. And while there are hundreds of channels now being broadcast from Muslim countries, until recently, after the events of September 11th, few media efforts were geared towards presenting the Islamic point of view to the West.
The late Mufti, may God bless him, for more than 20 years tried to bring attention to the fact that the media can be used as a means to emphasize the universality of Islam.
Under Sheikh Kuftaro's guidance, a media section was established at Abu Noor to televise his weekly lectures, as well as to produce their own content and to establish a multilingual internet presence.
He would tell us about his own experience after talking and giving lectures, either in Europe or in America or in the Soviet Union at that time, and how the reaction from the audience and from the people who are inviting him is so positive and so tremendous that the whole world is ready to hear the true message. But unfortunately, the means were not available of media, television, movies, and I think still we are lacking that until today.
And I think if people get to know more about Islam, and if the worldwide media is allowed to show what is really happening in here, like in Muslim countries, and allowed the people to know what really Islam is about, it will be like really helpful, you know.
I may sound really idealistic, and I know I am, but I really like to have a job in where I can somehow improve the knowledge about Islam.
For me, that just seems the most important thing, you know. If I can work with Islam, I can live my life through Islam, I can't see any better job than that.
I don't want to go back to Sweden now. No, because there is no future for me there. Yeah, I know I should spread Islam as it is, and I will do that as well. But what I plan now is to go back to Bosnia, because that's a dream I have, to be in my own country, among my own people, and to work as a teacher there.
We are reformers. That's our mission, and that's what Islam calls us to do. There are many Muslim scholars in the Islamic world, in Saudi Arabia, in Sudan, in Yemen, and Pakistan, who share our mission.
I think that this is the first step to productive change, is informing the people what Islam is, what our daily lives are like, who we are, you know, that we're not some Arab in the desert, you know, we're the next door neighbor, you know, we're the guy going in their house painting it, we're their doctor.
Because if people know what Islam is about, I'm sure there won't have to be any misunderstanding.
How can everybody say Muslims are violent if every time they see us smiling? If every time they see us giving sadaqah, giving charity, you know, if every time they see us doing something, helping the community, how can they then say we're violent? So in this way, I think that we'll get the message out.
Our Prophet said at the beginning of every 100 years, God will send to this nation someone to restore its religion, who will rid it of the deviation of the extremists, the innovations of the careless, and the interpretations of the ignorant.
Islam is your basic nature. The best and the good things of your life is what Islam is.
This is why we see the Muslims fell behind and became weak. This is due to ignoring the methodology of reform in the Islamic agenda, which Islam calls for until the Day of Judgment.
When I believe in God, it isn't enough that I believe in my heart, but I have to believe in my comportment, in my life. And if everybody believe in God, want the peace, he has to work for the peace.
Peace nowadays is usually thought of as between two warring parties, but we call for the true brotherhood between all of humanity. That's what we learned from Islam, from Moses, from Jesus and Muhammad. May peace be upon them all.
I have to respect the Muslim, and the Muslim has to respect me. I have to respect Jews, and the Jews has to respect me. When there is equality between the persons, we will arrive in God.
So our duty as Muslim scholars and in Islamic movements is to be as a mercy for all of humanity and to emphasize this side of Islam. And this is something that not only the Prophet of Islam called for, but also Jesus, Moses, and before them, their grandfather Abraham, may peace be upon him. We look at the monotheistic religions as one in their essence, basics and roots, and it is our duty to call for peace through them all.
Sheikh Ahmed Kuftaro always saw religion as a force that could unite the world, and as his health began to fail him in later years, his son Salah continued his mission.
From the Crystal Cathedral in Garden Grove, California, welcome to the Hour of Power with Robert Schuller.
Less than a year after Dr. Schuller visited Abu Noor, Salah Kuftaro visited the Crystal Cathedral in California in his father's place.
Welcome. 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 Welcome.
And I do believe that if we had seen this beautiful view of this beautiful congregation, he would not have listened to the advice of his doctors, and he would have come here, because this is what he has been calling for more than 50 years now.
Even after the events of September 11th brought the differences between Muslims and Christians to the forefront, the ever-optimistic Robert Schuller sums up his views of the potential for continued interfaith dialogue.
I'm not sure we need more dialogue. I think we need more fun times together.